My fasting and fitness routine has been a success, but first I want to say thank you for coming on to my YouTube channel and letting me know that I needed to lift heavier weights. I do appreciate. So you take the hint, and the hint says planet shows us what is happening, signs show us how it's happening, and houses show us where it's happening. So these are the interpretations for the horoscope, the planets and signs, planets and houses. And the planets describe a certain process of what is happening. The sign in which the planet is located determines how the planet is manifesting itself. And then the houses show special areas of everyday life in which all this takes place. And that's why they give you the hints. So the sun is the self, individuality, and personality. The sun symbolizes a personal identity. It shows us areas where the person should learn to be independent, where he should fulfill his potential, differentiate himself from others, and shine. The position of the sun may tell us which profession would best suit the character of a person. Now, if you have the sun in Aries, the ruler of Aries is the planet Mars, which symbolizes energy, health, fighting spirit, and leadership skills. People born under this sign are courageous and decisive in most situations in life. They do any work with enthusiasm and confidence in their abilities, but they often lack deliberation and patience. Now, sun in the first house. The sun in the first house forms a powerful connection with the ascendant and the creates personality that corresponds with its zodiac sign. It gives people a sense of identity, vitality, self-confidence, and people are more spontaneous and outgoing because their personality is more complete. The sun gives them determination, leadership skills, and initiative. And their thinking is optimistic and cheerful. That's the first house. And then you got the moon, emotional instincts, and it says roots and mother. Place in the horoscope where the moon is tells us what gives the person a sense of security and where to find it. It describes how sensitive we are and how we can't see that from here, instinctively interact with our, I don't know, that was tilted to the side like that, sorry. And scroll it up a little bit. We are and how we instinctively interact with our surroundings. The moon also tells us about our childhood and our experiences with our mother. And the new moon phrase, birth, beginning, clarity. Moon in Aries, the feeling of uncertainty can make you solve problems faster than is natural. Do not rush as if there was a deadline. Try to slow down so that you can decide what you want to do and proceed at your own comfortable pace. I don't know. I'll be very honest with you, regardless of what sign you are. I think that is excellent advice right there. To really do it at your own pace, whatever it is in life, whatever your comfortable pace is. Don't try to run with the crowd or with the bulls or whatever. Do what you got to do for you at your own pace and time. Moon in the first house. The moon in the first house indicates that these people are sensitive, changing, and adaptable. They are somewhat unstable and uncertain of what to do. Their changing emotions are a source of trouble for long-term planning. When they are not busy revisiting their goals, they think about which direction to focus their efforts, and then they hesitate about their implementation. They are sensitive people who respond to the opinions of others and are easily influenced. Now, with this, I would say in the moon in the first house, perfection comes to mind, that they're really trying to perfect whatever it is that they're doing, and they're a people pleaser. They're trying to make sure that people like whatever it is that they're trying to produce. And that can take them in different directions, and sometimes they may hesitate because of the opinion of other people. So I would say first, you know how like you draw out your business plan? And I would assume that when you draw out the business plan that you've already done your research, and that's why you've come up with the plan that you come up with to be successful in whatever it is that you are implementing or about to do or trying to do or are doing. And that I think that first advice about doing it at your own pace is essential to have long-term success, because you can't please everybody and there's always going to be somebody doing something. So you really have to be sound on your foundation of what it is that you're wanting to do and be happy with the type of work that you choose to do, whether you're getting paid or not. It's just something that you enjoy doing. And then it says for Mercury, it says thinking, communication, and intellect and learning. Mercury is the planet that brings us interest in intellectual things. About teaching and learning, it also indicates into what depth we want to study things. It gives us natural intelligence and the ability to analyze and reproduce. So Mercury and Taurus, people with Mercury and Taurus stop being so carefree. They are thorough and precise. The influence of Earth awakens, and contemplation, I can barely see this, and the need to provide evidence of their feelings and opinions. People with Mercury in Earth signs are renowned experts in the field they have chosen to specialize in. They like to think deeply about things. They have good knowledge of things they are interested in, and they enjoy the process of learning as if it was some good food or something. When they learn something and understand it, they will probably never forget it. Mercury in the second house. Mercury in the second house represents a connection with the house of personal financial affairs and property. It is a position that helps generate ideas for making money and makes people to value material things. These people are bright and smart. They have a talent for trading and for financial and business transactions. They can use it in economics, planning sales, in writing popular literature, or in another profession that requires good communication skills. These people usually have more material than intellectual values, and they can also earn their living by teaching about or mediating money making opportunities. So Mercury aspects. Then we have Venus, sensuality, love, harmony, and pleasure. Venus symbolizes attractivity, sign in which Venus is telling us what we are attracted to, and this enables us to give or receive love and affection, beauty and happiness, values and principles. The negative side is that it represents weakness and shallowness. Venus in Taurus. Venus in Taurus is a great position because Venus is full of energy and has stronger influence than other signs. This position has a very positive influence and money matters. Amen. And it says, let's get a little bit closer about this money matters, especially on profit from one's own work. Regardless of any occupation, these people are friendly and social, and their behavior brings up the same feelings in others. People with Venus in Taurus are marked by the intra of their opinions. They adhere to opinions they have once accepted. They are generous, but they do not waste money. They like politeness. People with Venus and Taurus know well what satisfies their senses, and they can therefore be successful in a number of artistic fields. They can sing beautifully. They can have a great voice, be great chefs, or be good in other things that bring satisfaction and joy to other people. They have a highly developed sense of touch, but their amazing feeling for physical things causes a dependency on the physical evidence that they are valued and wanted. They need a great deal of physical affection in order to feel love. Just words and hints are not enough. Venus in the second house. Venus in the second house represents a connection with security and material wealth. These people love their property, their jewelry, their clothes, and other accessories. They will probably be lucky in material matters. They like money, but only because it gives them better social status. They are talented traders and businessmen. Venus in this position also indicates the possibility of gaining money from some artistic activity. It can also mean lavish and material privileges. So the elegance of it all. And then for Mars, activity, energy, courage, assertiveness. Mars symbolizes the need to get what we want. This means our driving force, which includes sex drive, initiative, and courage. Mars tells us about our desires, sensuality, courage, and will. It also tells us about how we are able to overcome obstacles and how active we are. Now, Mars and Taurus, people with Mars and Taurus do not like to waste time. Don't waste my damn time. Daydreaming, head in the sky in the clouds. In other words, when they make plans, they are realistic and they will accomplish what they plan. People with Mars and Taurus are able to proceed steadily with their material goals in life and use their patience and realistic approach to increase the value of their property or at least to secure a quiet place to live. Since they are determined to achieve stability, they know that the secret lies in the fact that they themselves determine what stability is instead of accepting the materialistic idea of society. This clearly indicates the need to change direction. Whenever they make changes, whether personal or professional, the change is irreversible. Their sexual energy may be compared to the vehicle driving at the slowest possible speed. The start is slow and it is difficult to stop, but it has an amazing superpower. Mars in the second house. Mars in the second house suggests a person who is looking for material and financial gains and who is successful in this area. They have energy that drives them to make money, but at the same time forces them to spend everything they earn. They need to learn to control their financial situation, which is hard for them because they have no natural talent for it. These people are competitive in business and financial matters, and they often run their own businesses. They are not afraid of taking risks in this area, and they are determined to reach their goals. That is awesome. That is just awesome there. So Jupiter, happiness, optimism, and expansion. Jupiter symbolizes growth, expansion, laws, faith, and ethics that guide it. It represents a sense of development and support, which can lead to opportunities, wealth, and faith. However, Jupiter is damaged. The person becomes immoral and extremist. So don't let that money fool you. Don't let that desire change you. Jupiter in Scorpio. People with Jupiter in Scorpio will be limited by things they consider irresponsible. Whether they are aware of it or not, their life philosophy is there is no profit without hardship, meaning profit is either material or mental life. The desire that grows out of this philosophy is truly powerful because it causes yearning for depth, darkness, and mystery, but ultimately helps them define themselves. People with Jupiter in Scorpio hate manifestation of superficial happiness, fake shit. They don't like the fake stuff. Whether it is behavior of other people or their own. The dark side of their nature is the place where the most precious feelings are hidden. So back to the fake stuff. They don't like fake plants. They don't like fake stuff. They like the legit stuff, or they don't want it at all. They will go through hell to destroy the weepy and saggy parts that threaten or hinder the discovery of this preciousness. They may find many opportunities from the sexual dimension of experience while they are searching for depth and catharsis. They will probably emphasize sex in some way during their searching process. I wonder if that would be like a difference between the male and the female energy. Of across the board. Jupiter in the eighth house. Jupiter in the eighth house means that this planet will play an important role in the financial matters of these people, either in marriage, partnership, or inheritance. These people know how to handle money, honey, especially those that belong to other people. They have a talent to make profit from investments, and they have the ability to earn money on things that others consider to be unprofitable. I would agree with that 1,000% and plus and more through affinity. It's like just an energy that can make it happen out of nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like the squeeze the lemon to make the juice and the rub them pennies together to make a dime. I would agree with that. I agree 100% on that one. So then we move on to Saturn. Saturn, make friends with Saturn. Respect Saturn. Saturn, restriction, order, maturity, and time. Saturn is our own strict teacher who is able to ruthlessly examine our maturity, honey. They're going to make your ass grow up whether you want to or not. However, it is not only the despot, but also the archetype of the sage who uses pain as a means to get our attention on what we should focus on and what we should continue to develop. They're going to spank your ass a little bit to get you to focus right and to do the right thing. But some of y'all, so Saturn and Taurus, people with Saturn and Taurus need to learn to attribute the right value to things. They have a particularly good sense of material values, but they tend to underestimate the intangible or invisible things that are not immediately apparent at first glance. Money can become the source of their worries and problems. They are either afraid of losing what they already own. They may have doubts or not enough money. In the first case, they attach too much importance to material things. In the second case, they probably do not take money seriously enough. And in the third case, they must realize that the supply of cash does not depend so much on external conditions, but rather on how rich one feels inside. The purpose of this life lesson is to gain a sense of balance and stop compensating for it by merely evaluating life from a maternal point of view or to overlook this area. So, get to know that wealth within and have peace with self. Know thyself. Understand thyself. What are your priorities? And where do you place wealth? Respect that wealth. Respect that money. Understand the total of the abundance. And know that there's more than plenty. So Saturn in that second house. Saturn in the second house suggests ambition and diligence in connection with material security and ability to save money. Agree with that one. These people are cunning and prudent in money matters. Don't play with their money. Don't play with it. They will encounter delays and obstacles, even if it is not easy to rip them off. See, those people that come with you with something that looks legit, but it's not. So you still got to do your due diligence. Still got to do your due diligence on this stuff because these people are getting good. So Uranus, originality, freedom, revolution. Uranus is the power of awakening, which often means that there will be some disruptive and change. Events under the influence of Uranus are unexpected or unpredictable, forcing us to do things in a new way and face the truth about this or that issue. So new time, new way, new options. Stuff that you never even thought about could possibly be as an option. So Uranus in Libra. Note Uranus is a slow, transpersonal planet and may remain in a single sign for up to many years. The description of Uranus in Libra is therefore valid for the entire generation of people and is very general. The characteristic of the personality in the description of Uranus in the seventh house. Uranus in Libra brings sudden and intense energy into traditional desires for harmony and tranquility. People with Uranus in this position do not accept traditional forms of relationships. In love or other interpersonal relationships, they can bring new elements into politics and art. Uranus in the 7th house. Uranus in the 7th house brings instability and changes to the house of marriage and partnership. It can mean marriage or partnership with a very different person or unexpected important changes. These people, many marry or divorce unexpectedly. They have to consciously try to maintain long-term relationships because they are very independent. Their relationships with other people will only be good if they are able to overcome unexpected changes and disruptions. So you want people in your life with good, bad, whatever, to be there by your side and not just be there because of what you can do for them or what they can get out of you. So finding those friendships, I can see that being slightly difficult if those type of relationships that you have established were based on some of those type of giving more so than what you were receiving. So with that said, choose your friends wisely. Choose them wisely, people. You don't like some of the words they use or the names they use, get some better friends. So Neptune, fantasy, illusion, spirituality, and imagination. Neptune is called the Lord of the Invisible Empire. Thank you, Neptune, for looking out for what we cannot see, which is a mysterious name of a mysterious planet. Perhaps we could describe it as a dimension of light that cannot be experienced by our 5 senses, and we can only understand and perceive it in our imagination. Neptune is Sagittarius. Neptune is a slow, transpersonal planet. It may remain in a single sign for up to many years. The description of Neptune in Sagittarius is therefore valid for the entire generation of people and is very general. The characteristics of the personality is in the description of Neptune in the 9th house. People with Neptune in Sagittarius use their creative abilities to serve ideas, whether these ideas are their own or somebody else's. They tend to serve their faith or religion. In any case, their thoughts and opinions are influenced by philosophical insights, and they are happy to help develop some religious or philosophical idea. So they're happy to implement some of those religious ideas that they've been taught throughout generations. Neptune in the 9th house. Neptune in the 9th house is just strong connection with education, philosophy, religion, and travel. These people often easily influence, intuitive, interested in unusual religions. They may also be interested in art, which they may study or teach. This position of Neptune also means misunderstandings and difficulties with in-laws. So there we have for Neptune, Pluto, transformation, regeneration, power. Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth. It is the end of all things. It is a judgment day. Time to pay the piper for all that you done. Pluto. It didn't say black folks. It said Pluto. It didn't say foreigners. It said Pluto. It didn't say Mexican down the street. It said Pluto. It can give rise to obsessions or convictions on the dark end of its spectrum. It can manifest as succumbing to the urge, or it can create an individual who has the ability to get to the core of things, destroy negative things, and bring on healing and transformation. So we got to give gratitude for the grace that Pluto gives. Pluto in Virgo. Pluto is a slow, transpersonal planet and may remain in a single sign for up to many years. The description of Pluto in Virgo is therefore valid for an entire generation of people and is very general. The characteristics of personality is in the description of the Pluto in the 6th house. People with Pluto in Virgo are accurate and methodical. If the planet is damaged, they may start looking for faults and become too strict. Take away your freedom about adherence to rules. They can achieve transformation by analyzing. Pluto in the sixth house. Pluto in the sixth house gives people the ability to substantially improve their working environment, but usually in ways that is considered to be too novel. Too novel. These people may be too bossy. When this planet becomes active, it can mean that this person cannot get along with his co-workers or employees. Pluto often causes havoc in the working environment. These people can also have extreme attitude towards health issues. Don't come to work sick. Don't be trying to use my microphone and stuff and you know you got a sore throat. Yes, I would agree with that one. Pluto in the sixth house. They don't play with the health. Wear that damn mask. All right, loner nodes. North node and south node. The loner nodes aren't planets, but rather astrology mathematical points that are directly opposite each other in the chart. It is said that your life purpose is encoded between them. In the line between north node and south node, the south node indicates your comfort zone, your habitual place, while your north node shows life lessons of what you're striving for in this lifetime. Both lunar nodes and almost always retrograde. North node means in Pisces, south node in Virgo. North node in Pisces brings the conflict between transcendental effort and everyday reality, between chaos and order, and between spirituality and reason. These people need to open up to their spirituality and imagination. Let it flow. They need to escape the constraints of the usual and explainable and be open to the unusual and unexplainable. They need to go beyond the rational and analytical, develop imagination, powers, and spiritual awareness. They should stop working so hard and find time for themselves. They should learn to make self-sacrifices and show love for others. Beware of morbid obsession with order, cleanliness, and rejection of everything that is not perfect order or cannot be explained. So, blame it on the lunar nodes. North node meet in the 12th house. South node in the 6th house. North node in the 12th house brings the conflict between transcendental effort and everyday reality, between chaos and order, and between spirituality and reason. These people need to open up to their spiritual and imagination. They need to escape the constraints of the usual and explainable and be open to the usual and unexplainable. Whether you're north or south, both houses. They need to escape the constraints of the usual and explainable and be open to unusual and unexplainable. They need to go beyond and rational and analytical, develop imaginative powers and spiritual awareness. They should stop working so hard and find time for themselves. They should learn to make self-sacrifice and show love for other people. Beware of morbid obsession with chicken sandwich, spicy chicken, with order, cleanliness, and rejection of everything that is not in perfect order or cannot be explained. Node mean aspect. Alrighty, Saturn. Sextile was in Saturn. Lilith, here come Black Moon Lilith, the troublemaker, fascination and denial. Lilith, she be starting shit. Lilith is a fictional point, the second empty focal point of, I can't really see that, elliptical orbit of the moon around the earth. In mythology, Lilith refuses to submit to Adam, rebelled against the connection between Adam and Eve, decided to escape from the world of people and made a connection with Saturn. That may be B. In astrology, Lilith symbolizes either fascination or refusal of topics with which she is connected with. Both the fascination or the rejection of the given topics can eventually engulf the person and take him away from the human world. Lilith, child. Lilith meaning Leo. These people are very proud and even stuck up. Snobby snob. Lilith is a sign, may indicate the struggle against the rest of the world. MFs. These people are self-centered and selfish. SOBs. They do not acknowledge other people. The common attitude of these people is sexuality is my sexual does not belong to my partner. It's me. That's my coochie. It only belongs to me. It is not always easy to live with this attitude because the likes and the preference of our partner should be taken into account as well. They want to taste the sugar snacks. These people can develop their own inner wisdom by humor, insight, play, theater, and everything they can do for others to make them happy. Beware of eye injuries and problems with heart. The broken heart, Lilith. That's what's wrong. Lilith got the broken heart from all the BS. That's just a short version. Lilith mean in the 5th house. Ambiguous. Attitude to motherhood. Rejection of love life. Difficulties in parenthood. Be grateful if you don't have that last one. Gratitude and grace. Because nothing is 100%. So be grateful that that one does not apply. Ruhn. Ruhn is the wounded healer, the inner teacher. Like all after through your life and as you have aged, then you become the wounded healer and the inner teacher. Healed everyone else your entire life. And now it's time for you to focus on you. That's what Ruhn's message is actually saying. If you've been that kind of person. So keep in mind that everything doesn't apply to everybody. But if this does apply to you, that's what it's trying to tell you today. Everybody has died out, faded out, and now it's just you. So what you gonna do? You gotta take care of yourself, wounded healer. That inner teacher is now teaching you. So Ruhn is an asteroid between Saturn and Uranus. Its orbit is very unusual and represents a bridge between material and spiritual worlds. It's straddling one foot in the other. According to the mythology, Ruhn was a great healer, wise teacher, and one of immortal centaurs. Unfortunately, he was one of the immortal centaurs. Unfortunately, he was deadly, injured by a poisonous arrow by Hercules. Hercules, his favorite disciple. See, it always be that way. Just like with Jesus. He was suffering in great pain, but he could not die. Sound familiar? Finally gave up his immortality for the benefit of Prometheus, who was also suffering. Everybody got some shit they're going through. Ruhn was sent to the underworld. Didn't really want to go to the underworld. Zeus had mercy for him and he raised him to the heaven. See what I keep telling you, that grace and that mercy and how that gratitude will take you far and rise you up to the heavens, even in astrology. Ruhn symbolizes our unhealable injuries. Remember that broken heart they tried to tape together? You know, when they had them stimulus money? It's just incurable trauma. Some traumas you just can't cure. But you can certainly try, and we keep giving our grace. So, however, if a person, instead of drowning in his own trauma, is able to accept the trauma and help others who are also suffering, them SOBs, and accept that suffering is part of life, then ruhn may be the key to wisdom or even to some sort of initiation gate of grace, is what I call it. Initiation of grace. ruhn and Aries, these people may be traumatized, honey. Traumatized because they went through the South. They didn't know the South was like that. They said, what is this? By the fact that despite all their efforts, they are not successful because they went through the damn South. They are not very proactive and assertive. They're in shock still. They lack the appropriate dose of healthy aggression that is needed. And that's what they would have learned out of the South. If they had stayed, they would have had that aggression. But instead they moved on. They said, F that, whatever that the reward is, it ain't worth it. Not worth the suffering and the pain. In a competitive society, in order to survive competition with those type of folks who are too harsh and ruthless SOBs, they some ruthless people. But if you can make it in that environment, you can make it anywhere and jump in the air and click your heels. They usually compensate for this with exaggerated activity, but the results never correspond with the effort they put in. That's why I tell you, is it worth it in the end? ruhn in the first house, these people may be traumatized by the fact that despite all their efforts, they are not successful because they are not very proactive and assertive. They ain't worth slapping nobody, putting your hands on somebody. If you ain't praying for them, you don't need to be putting your hands on nobody. Keep your hands to yourself. I don't care how you feel. Keep your hands to yourself. Let that spirit and that white Jesus that you believe in, let them handle that disagreement. Do not put your hands on people. Do we understand that? They lack the appropriate dose of healthy aggression that is needed in a competitive society in order to survive competition with those who are too harsh and ruthless. They usually compensate for this with exaggerated activity, but the results never correspond with the effort they put in. It's trying to tell you, get with the program. So, once it's all said and done, this is just a little touch of astrology. Whether you believe it or not, you can see the truth in a lot of it. And you can also see how it reflects in a lot of stories that we live by today. So regardless if you believe it or not, this would be what it be. Have we not heard that enough? And for my drink, I'm just having the rest of my red grapefruit Tropicana Pure Premium, never from concentrated grapefruit juice. And it's 100% grapefruit juice. Delicious.